Hello, my name is Ciarán McKinney. I'm the manager of the Engage program at Agent Opportunity, and I'm delighted to be here giving this short presentation to you at the Casual Arts Festival. And because of the restrictions of COVID-19, we decided that I wouldn't travel down and give an in-person presentation. So I'm making this video, and we're incorporating a couple of other videos to as part of the material for today. So I guess one of the first things I would like to address is the impact of COVID-19 and in particular cocooning on the lives of many of our citizens, but of course in particular those of us who are 70 plus. And recently we were commissioned by the Irish Human Rights and Equality Commission to carry out a series of citizens' assemblies on the effects of cocooning. And so to get that going, we made a short video. So we'll start with the video, and hopefully it will, hopefully you'll find it interesting. And then what I will do is I'll give you a short summary of some of the findings from the citizens' assemblies.
There's a lovely quote in a book by Ronan Hession. It struck him how unreliable age was as a measure of anything. And all it did was count the distance from the beginning, when all that really matters is the time remaining. And that is how I felt. It absolutely sums it. I wish I was that bright to come up with that.
I don't know if they really sat down and thought about this, about what would happen to people. And also, it's quite middle class when you think about it, because it probably presumes that you have all the resources to be cocooned, to be by yourself, or then that was the other thing. So cocooning meant to me, I hate the word. And from talking to other friends, and I'm queer also, so it also is, and I know for other queer people, lesbian, gay people, the added isolation that they felt, older ones around this, that's because most of us are single, are not connected with our families in a particular way. So the need to meet friends or to do different things or to be out there is quite important.
I suppose the awful thing was the isolation, really, and the loneliness. And there was a lot of fear also. Like I'm 73 years old now, so I was all of a sudden in a little box that said you're over 70 now, so you're old now, Kay, get used to it. I was never old really until this lockdown.
My son and his wife, they both got the virus. And that left it then that we couldn't go near their house, and they just lived like a mile down the road, so we couldn't go near them then, you see, while they were both in isolation. Then they were in isolation at one time, more or less. So like it makes you feel a kind of, very isolated. Like
I have one great friend, and she lost her husband one day and her brother the next day. And that was just over a year ago, last Sunday. There was no wake, there was no funeral. They were just put in body bags and taken to the crematorium. That was very early on. It's the one thing we do really well here, like a funeral really kind of like fills you with adrenaline, like you can go through the thing. And like that's mighty important, like to take all that aboard, and like you relive that for a long time after. But if you don't have it, like you feel like you were cheated, like it wasn't right.
There's always something to do. You can be negative and do nothing and just gawk and complain, or you can say, well, what can I do today? The lockdown for me was a great opportunity. Depends on how you look at things. And just because I'm lucky, I should remember that there are the vast majority of people are not that lucky. You have to try and be happy no matter what turns up. Change happens every day.
I hope you found that short video interesting. We certainly enjoyed facilitating the 5 citizens' assemblies, and quite a lot of the responses we had from older people were really about feeling that people who are 70 plus had been perhaps not taken seriously enough as individuals, that everyone over 70 was treated as a homogenous group, when in fact we know that that can't possibly be the case. And I guess also a sense of that there was a fudging of around the whole cocooning advice. Certainly many of the older people felt that they would be breaking the law if they didn't comply, and therefore felt a little bit cheated later when they realized that in fact this was advice, and that they really should have been encouraged really just to make their own assessment of their own risks. However, it hasn't been all bad news through COVID. So many of us, delivering programs, have discovered that a lot of our work adapts itself very well for online delivery. And a beautiful example of this is the Azure program. This was started in 2012 as a partnership with the Irish Museum of Modern Art, Agent Opportunity ourselves, the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland, and the Butler Gallery in Kilkenny. And what we wanted to do was to firstly bring over to Ireland a model that had been developed at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. So they developed their Meet Me program, which was a response to the changing nature of the experiences of some of their long-standing visitors, as they themselves had got older and had started to develop forms of dementia. So they responded by developing this methodology for enabling and facilitating people living with dementia to both view art but also engage with art, and particularly in situations where they were accompanied either by a family member or a carer, so that they could have an in the now and in the moment conversation. One of the beauties of the Azure methodology is that you don't have to know anything about art, but you also don't need to be learning facts, which can often be the case if we go to a tour in a gallery. We're often given really, really useful and interesting information, but that's not a lot of help if you're somebody living with dementia. So this methodology is much more about focusing on the person's engagement with an art piece. And if somebody kind of says, oh, I don't like that, or I really don't like that color, or God, this is boring, that's as valid as somebody saying, oh my God, would you look at that, it's just beautiful. Or somebody saying, oh, that reminds me of whatever, or gosh, that's my favorite color. And so we train facilitators to deliver this methodology. And particularly since last year, with the generosity of Creative Ireland, we've now delivered 4 additional facilitator foundation trainings. So there are now 45 trained facilitators around the country. So the Azure network has grown significantly in the last couple of years. And information about Azure is available on the IMA website, as indeed on the Age and Opportunity website. They're really quite easy to find. What I'd like now to do is to introduce you to 2 short videos. One is a short summary of the Azure program at the Lexicon Library in Dún Laoghaire, which is based in Dún Laoghaire, Rathdown. And it's then followed by a short clip from RTE where a married couple, Frank and Jackie, talk about their experiences of having been part of an online program, which is the Armchair Azure program at IMA.
The Azure Dementia Inclusive Tours here at the DLR Municipal Gallery invite people living with dementia to come along to the gallery with their families, friends, and experience the exhibitions here with a trained facilitator. So these tours are a little bit different from regular tours in that they take a really nice slow pace. The facilitators select a small number of artworks in a given exhibition. We focus on imaginative questions that keep people in the moment with the artwork. So it's not a lecture about the artist or the artwork, it's more an exploration together. So there's no reliance on memory. People with dementia aren't at any disadvantage from the people on the tour who are not living with dementia. One of the benefits that we see time and time again is that when people come to these tours, they're in the moment with an exciting selection of artworks at an exhibition. And for that period of time, the emphasis isn't on the relationship of the carer and the person who's being cared for. And I think it enables particularly family members to return to that point where they're husband and wife, mother and daughter, father and son, or whatever the familial relationship is. And that's what's happening because everybody's participating at this equal level. The reaction to these tours has been really positive, and one of the ways that we know that it's been a positive reaction is that people keep coming back. The kind of things that we hear from people is that they really enjoy being prompted to talk about the world in different ways and share their opinions and feel as though their contributions are really valuable, which they are to the discussion. And I think that's really important to people, to feel valued and heard, and that their opinion really matters. And art is about life, so these kind of exhibitions and discussing artwork together can connect people back in with that larger sense of community in the world again.
I was diagnosed with dementia about a year and a half ago, but it doesn't frighten me or anything like that.
I think we were both a bit surprised at how much we enjoyed it. You were taken a little bit out of your comfort zone, but in the nicest possible way, do you know what I mean? And it was not just somewhere to go, it was an eye-opener, quite literally.
We've had participants come on our Azure tours and our Armchair Azure virtual tours who've never been to the museum before. And for them, it's an opportunity to build a new interest at a time in their lives when maybe other opportunities are kind of narrowing and closing down. This is something new that they can do with their family or friends. And it's just such a joy to hear the conversations that start because of an artwork and then move on to various other things. And these conversations might not happen otherwise.
It's a different experience, but it's the contact and being in communication that's the important part. Anything like that's very stimulating and interesting, and you're never too old to learn anything. I've been to galleries before, and it certainly helps when there's somebody who's knowledgeable and can explain things, and you see things that you hadn't seen before.
One of the things you learn when you get involved with the whole dementia scene is that, and it's not confined just to people who have dementia, but they do say that stretch your brain, you know, give yourself tasks to do that you wouldn't do, and do something outside your comfort zone. And this was doing all of those things for both of us. The calendar in the kitchen, it gives you something to put in the day. It really does make a huge difference, because it would be very easy to just get turned in on yourself. And I mean, we're lucky we have each other. Well, it doesn't mean that we don't drive each other up the wall from time to time, you know. Thank you, dear.
being in communication with others, like this morning with the Alzheimer's group online. It was as if we were there, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
It really does help to have something to do with other people, even if it's online, that is outside of your four walls, you know, where you can be mentally outside your four walls.
So I hope that those 2 videos have now given you at least, or whetted your appetite to find out more about Azure and indeed to take part in a tour. If you want more information, of course, you can check us out on our website, which will the details of which will appear on a slide in a couple of minutes. And also our phone number, which is, it's a Dublin number, so it's 01 805 7709. And if you want any more information, please do feel free to get in touch. I really hope that you continue to have a great experience at Cashel Arts Festival, and indeed I hope that next year we might be able to collaborate in person as well. So I look forward to that, and wish you all well. Thank you. Bye-bye.